What would be your impression as far as like slavery and the impact it had on you versus African Americans? What were your thoughts on that before coming to America? And then once you got here, tell me about slavery.
I mean, to be honest, back home, when I was back home in Nigeria, I didn't know anything about like the racism, like I said, like slavery. I didn't know much about it because I felt like we are all one, and we were in Africa. And there's nothing to worry about, you know? So coming out here, seeing a lot of like racism and slavery stuff about black people was like kind of new and shocking to me.
Thanks for locking in. Today, my training partner on Gym Life is going to be Tezay, a singer, entertainer, born and raised in Nigeria and new here to LA. He does a lot of strength training, so I wanted to make sure I put together a nice kettlebell circuit for us. Today, we're going to be talking about African culture versus African American culture. Let's vibe out.
Hey, yo, Jim.
Yo, Tezay. What up, homie?
I'm good. How you doing? Good?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Got to invite you over, we get a workout in, chop it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So Tezay, tell me where that comes from.
Man, it came from, Tezay came from high school.
Okay.
Back in Nigeria, in Lagos, when I was going to school in high school. People call me Somtochukwu. That's my initial first name.
Okay.
But like in my high school, like, you know, my friends call me Somtizi.
Okay.
So in that way, I'm like, you know, I have to change it to, instead of Somtizi, I have to put Tezay.
Okay.
You know, so I just had to form it that way. I'm like, hey guys, call me Tezay. Don't call me by Somtizi, because that was too long, you know. So I'm like, okay, just call me Tezay. And since then, I've been rocking with it. Everyone's been calling me that.
Nice,
you know,
nice.
Yeah.
So Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria.
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Nigeria, Lagos City.
Wow, and when did you come to the U.S.? How old were you?
I was 19.
19 years old.
When I came
so high school, everything in Nigeria?
High school, every year. High school in Nigeria. Then college is in, after high school in Nigeria, I came to the state, New York City. I went to college over there. I was there for 2 years. Okay. And I moved to LA.
What was New York like when you first touched down?
I didn't know what to expect, but when I touched down, just coming out the plane alone, it was freezing. It was freezing to the point like I'm like, what is this?
Right.
Are we like, where are we? Like,
because you never experienced any.
I've never experienced that kind of cold in my life. You know, to the point like, you know, that was the reason I left New York. Right. I always get sick. And I was just tired of like, you know, every time cold and wearing Timberlands and everything. New York was nice. I love New York City. The food, the culture is there, but the weather for me is not the same. Not the same. LA is like kind of similar to Nigeria.
More to Nigeria.
Yeah, so I'm like, here I can comprehend with the weather out here than New York City.
Yeah. My father's West African from Ghana, and same thing. Growing up, he would just tell me, he's like, Jimmy, you don't understand. Every day was hot, you know. So him getting used to the East Coast, because I grew up in Massachusetts. Him getting used to that East Coast weather was something. But then, of course, he started learning to like it. You know. But me, it was almost like I felt my roots. I was like, I'm out of here. I need to get to LA. I got to get to the warm weather.
Exactly.
You know?
A lot of Africans, when they come out here, they go to the East Coast. I don't know why they like the East Coast.
They all out there.
They all out there. My friends are still there, but for me, I'm like, East Coast is cool here and there, but I'm out.
I'm out of here.
I can't be here for too long. Well, I go visit sometimes. Summertime. During the summer, I go to New York City, go to Washington. But other than that, if it's winter, I'm in LA.
You in LA?
I'm in LA. That's it. Yeah.
I feel you. Well, we're going to get some sweat on today. We're going to work it out. All right?
I'm ready.
So I'm going to break it down for you what we're going to do in the circuit.
Okay.
I'll grab my kettlebell, break it down for you.
Okay.
And then after that, you pick your kettlebell. I'll give you a chance to choose.
Okay.
So first thing we're going to do is a deadlift.
All right.
Flip it up, catch, down into a lunge.
Okay.
We'll alternate left side, right side.
All right.
Right?
Cool.
We'll go for 10.
Okay.
After that, we're going to go kettlebell swings.
Okay.
Right? There'll be 10 of those.
Okay.
After that, we down, we got push-ups.
Push-ups, okay.
Man, we got push-ups.
All right.
After the push-ups, then we're going to go to kettlebell squats.
Okay.
So we're here, down, kettlebell squats.
Okay.
Right? After that, we'll grab it by the handles. We're going to curl, press up for 10.
Okay,
all right?
sounds good.
So everything's going to be reps at 10.
Okay.
Circuit's going to be 5 minutes long. We go through once, and after that, we get a break.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So choose your kettle wisely. I'm going to set the timer. We get rocking.
All right, got you. Let's do it. Let's go. Choose wisely.
Choose wisely, because once you commit to it, that's it.
That's
you know
it,
what
yeah.
I mean?
I already did. Choose wisely already.
So we're gonna start off with a warm-up. Each
Okay.
exercise we're gonna go through for a minute.
Okay.
All right? First thing we're gonna do is arm rotations.
Okay.
We'll rotate forward
Okay.
and then back.
All right, cool.
Right? So
Yeah.
I gotta ask,
Yeah.
growing up in Nigeria, what was your impression of African Americans, or your understanding of what it would be like interacting with African Americans once you got to the US?
Okay, yeah. To be honest with you, I expected it to be the same because African American. I mean, at the end of the day, we are all black. You know what I mean? I feel like there's no like meant to be anything. I didn't know what to expect. I just expected like every human to be the same.
Right.
Until I got here and it wasn't the same. It wasn't the
different.
same for me. It was different. You know, I'll give you an example. Like I was dating this African American chick.
Okay.
But dating her in between it, her family they didn't like me. The mom and the brother didn't like me.
They didn't like you
They didn't like me because of the mother was always talking about my accent.
because you were different.
Because I was different, you
Right,
know. You know,
right.
she always the brother always tell my girl, that's her sister, that she why asking her question why is she with me? You know, stuff like that. You know, they always like, you know, it wasn't really good at that time. But the dad liked me a lot. Only the dad liked me in the family, but the mom and the brother never liked me
Oh, wow.
because of like my accent, and I came from Nigeria. So
And how did you navigate that? Did you try to talk to him? Like,
Yeah.
tell me some things that you noticed were immediately different.
Okay.
So you started to interact with her. You started going out. You meet the family.
Yeah.
Tell me some things that you noticed that were immediately different.
I really noticed that when I was with the girl, her mom always like didn't like me. Like if I come to the house, the mom is always going in the sitting room. Like she always leave or she always go out.
Okay.
Or like she just make fun or like mumble something and the side that she doesn't want to. She doesn't like talking to me.
Right.
So you know, I'm like I started seeing, you know, noticing the difference. And even when I was out, most of the time when I go out, if I talk, people say, "Oh, you're African." You know, so that too was like a whole like different scenario. You know.
Yeah. And as far as culture-wise, I'm sure maybe dating her, was it like maybe foods or certain lingo, or what do you think you noticed was different as far as like interacting with her personally in the culture?
It's like I feel like interacting with her, it wasn't like she wasn't really getting like it wasn't the same communication in that way, and the food, obviously the food too. Like, I took
The
her
food
to,
is very different.
It's different. I remember I had like the American food for the first time, like mac and cheese.
And mac and cheese. And what do you think of mac and cheese?
I'm like, what is this? You know, I've never had this before. Then I took her to my my African spot. Like there's a restaurant I go to every time. I took her there and she really loved the food, the African food. You know, she really liked it, and I was like, wow. She was like, oh, it's spicy, but she liked it.
She liked it.
Yeah, I didn't like mac and cheese, but she liked my African. She didn't know Nigerian food, so you know, I felt like, okay, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. And the reason why I ask about your understanding of it is I think one thing my father told me about moving to the States was that the perception of Africans, right?
Yeah.
You know, you from the jungle,
Yeah.
you know, you run with lions, and it's like just almost wild.
Yeah.
And then I think what happens is that perception is given to African Americans,
Yeah.
and the Africans have a different perception, and there's almost like this weird divisiveness that happens.
True,
you know?
true. I know I had this incident. A guy walked up, like I was talking, and the guy walked up to me and was asking me some type of question, asking me if we live with animals. If we live with animals in the jungle, if we live with monkeys and hyenas and lions in the jungle. I'm like, yo, Africa is one of the best places to be in the world.
Right.
Like he had no idea.
It's not filled with people running around barefoot with animals, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So I feel like what they watch on TV, they thought like Africa was like that. But yo, Africa has like a lot of mansions and Africa is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Very much so.
And right now with I'm really thankful for the movie Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Black Panther really like paved the way for people out here to understand the concept of Africa, you know?
Right. Even though it's fictional,
Yeah,
you think
exactly.
it did a good job
Yeah.
of making the distinction between the perception of Africa and the fact that Africa could be beautiful and modernized and intelligent, right? And these are the things that are not associated with African culture.
Yeah.
And good. Okay. Then we get right to it. So we got the kettlebell deadlift right into the lunge.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. It's funny. I know one big difference I noticed. So I grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's funny, when I was younger, there weren't a lot of Africans there. But as I got older, a lot of Ghanaians, Nigerians, everything.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed was that when they moved into the city, Africans that were quiet and chill ended up getting into street life.
Yeah.
You know, and started behaving in a way that I think surprised their parents, right? And one more, and good. Then we get swings.
Okay.
And what African parents would do back home, my cousin specifically, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my cousin specifically, when he was in high school, he got into some trouble. My uncle said, "You want to get into trouble? Sending you back home to Ghana, right?" So he goes to Ghana for high school, gets older, comes back home, calls me up, "Cuzzo, we gotta hang out, let's chill." So I'm like, "Dang, I ain't seen you since we was younger, let's chill." So we get up, we go to grab a drink. And he tells me when he gets to Ghana, he says he's in school, class. While he's in class, you know, at that time he thought he was a badass, right? He said the teacher tells him, grab a pencil. He looks at the teacher, he said, "Fuck you," right? So he said, as soon as he said that, the teacher said, "What did you say?" He said, "I said, fuck you." And he said the teacher goes and grabs a stick and beeps him with the stick.
Mind you, the stick is not called stick, it's called cane.
Cane.
So
because I didn't know this, so tell me.
So the cane is strictly made for people that are disrespectful. Kids, it's strictly made for kids that are disrespectful. You know, discipline, like it's made for people that need to be disciplined. Right. Like any fuck up like that, what he did was too much.
It was too much. So they had to beat him with the cane. And see, I didn't know that because he's saying stick. I'm thinking just a regular stick.
No, it's not regular.
Push-ups.
That's regular.
Instead, no, that's a cane
Yeah.
that they make to discipline. That's crazy. 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We go to squats. So, story gets crazier.
Yeah.
So they beat him with the cane, right? And after that, he goes to the principal's office. When he gets to the principal's office, he tells the principal, "Hey, I was just in class and the teacher beat me." The principal looked at him and says, "Well, tell me what happened. Why did the teacher beat you?" And he said, "Because I said fuck you." The principal said, "Well, what did you say?" I said, "Fuck you." So the principal grabbed a cane. The principal grabbed a cane and beat him with the cane. So now the principal and the teacher both beat him. We get 2 more. 2 and 1. Then we'll go curl press.
Okay.
We'll keep the same one.
Okay.
Ready?
That's crazy though.
Oh, insane. So now he gets home and now you're gonna tell my aunt and my uncle, right? Like, look what happened to me at school. He says, this happened and the teacher and the principal beat me. So my aunt and uncle say, "Well, what did you say?" He said, now he hesitated, you know? He hesitated. He said, "I said, fuck you." So they grabbed the cane and now he got 3 beatings all for the same thing. And as he's telling me the story, first thing that popped into my mind is, everybody was on the same page.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That everybody was on the same page.
Because I feel like in Africa, we know the first rule is to respect your elders. That's the first rule. 2, do not be disobedient.
Okay.
Like, do not like disrespect your elders or your professor or anywhere it doesn't matter where you are. Even though in school, outside in public, the first thing we learned was respect.
Respect.
You have to have that respect because even waking up in the morning, seeing my father or my mother in the morning, I bow and greet them. And be like, good morning, mom. Good morning, dad. You know, like that's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like your grandfather or whoever is older than you, you know, just show that respect, you know. That's what I feel Americans lack out here in America, you know. People don't really like, you know, have that respect like that, but in Africa it's different.
Yeah, it's a clear line as far as like what's right or what's wrong.
What's right or what's wrong, yeah.
More values, especially with the children.
Yeah.
Especially with the children. What's something that you think you've seen that's different as far as the way kids are brought up here versus the way you grew up in Africa?
Man, okay, the way kids back home growing up from age 0, I was always getting whipped.
Okay.
Always getting whipped, you know, like my parents be like, oh, don't touch that, you touch that, they whip you. Next time you won't do it again.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So out here, they don't whip their kid, they don't like, they just, you know, allow them to do.
Right.
You see, it's just too disrespectful, you know, kids just tell their mom, flip the middle finger to them, disrespect people, you know, just talk anyhow. They don't really like show them like the main, you know, how to be like respectful, how to like, you know, how to value things.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's what's lacking, you know, that's the difference. So for me, growing up back home and coming out here and seeing it, it was just different for me. It was just like, I didn't know what to expect. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, so it's different out here. So, and to today, I really appreciate growing up in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
You know,
and having the mix, right? Having the mix
between both two is really important too. So just to see so now I know the wrong and right, like the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? So it's really like unfortunate out here.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what I think also, and then we're back around, is that a lot of things take time. So like you said with Black Panther and then Afro beats and all this, it seems like more the African culture starting to resonate with African Americans. And now it's starting to become more of a connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I feel like now things are changing. The music scene, the movie scene, like everybody now want to be African. Everybody wants to be African so bad.
Right.
So it's like, I'm glad everything is changing for the best. People are getting to know the culture. People are traveling more. People are going to other countries to see what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a good thing happening right now.
Very much so.
You know?
Do you think if you have kids, you would bring them up, you would look to find somebody who would complement bringing them up according to African culture?
Like, to be honest with you, when I have my kids, I think I'm going to take them back to Africa. You know?
Take them back,
You know, because I feel like it's good to take them when they are young. You know, it's good. It's going to be like in and out.
Yeah.
Africa back here, you know, so they can know their culture, know where they came from, know their history, you know.
Two and one. Good. And we got push-ups next. How did you feel about when you first came to this country and you learned about police brutality?
Oh yeah, man.
And how African Americans are treated in regards to law enforcement, almost regardless of social status or anything like that, or economic status. It's almost like this certain conflict.
I would say.
When did you first get hit, or did you know about that before you came?
No, I didn't know about the police. I didn't know about even the racism. I didn't know that. I didn't know walls. I didn't even know what racism means.
Wow.
So coming out here, seeing police being bad to black people, and seeing like the color, like race and everything, like racism going on, I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Everything was just flabbergasted to me. I'm like, whoa.
It probably took a while for it to like resonate with you.
Exactly, because I'm like, why is this police guy treating this citizen like this? Like, he didn't do nothing, but it's like, so now I'm like, oh, color different, you know, it's different, because back home, you know, no matter where, I know like back home, there's a lot of Americans that come out there, a lot of like people from different color, Filipinos, white people, like it doesn't matter, like they come out there and we treat them like our own, we treat them like they're like our own.
Right.
We welcome them like, just respect, show them the city and everything.
Yeah.
But here it's different. It's so different, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Push-ups.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay, so the first time you learn about this, it has to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we got the kettle squats.
Okay.
I know speaking to my family, aunts, uncles, my father, they said it's not even really a huge police presence. So not even necessarily African Americans in police, just the overall level of violence that happens between citizens and police is in general, and I'm sure Africa has its issues between authority and citizens, but it just seems like it's much more prevalent in the US from what I hear. So just the overall conflict and to the level or degree that at which it occurs.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Even even back home, when it comes to police, the police out there are really, really corrupt.
You said they're corrupt.
Yeah. So it's a
Tell me about that.
Okay, so I remember the situation happened where we went out and the police stopped us.
Okay.
And most of my...
This is back in Nigeria.
Back in Nigeria.
Back in Nigeria, our police stop you. Okay.
Yeah, most of my friends didn't have we didn't have a license. We didn't have nothing.
Okay.
But we had to we had to give them some money to let us go.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what happened. We gave them some money to let us go because we were just going out to party, have a good time. We even gave them drinks, so. But it's crazy how the police they are it's different from here. So coming out here, seeing the police being mean to everybody is wow.
Yeah.
You can't do that out here. It's a different vibe.
It's funny, and I think perception is everything.
Yeah.
And experience is everything. But I would much rather pay a couple dollars, regardless of how corrupt, than have things go the way they may go sometimes.
Exactly. So also, even sometimes there's a situation whereby you have all your document complete in Nigeria. You have your passport, you have your license, your insurance, everything. But the cops still want you to give them some money.
Even if you have everything?
Even if you have everything, they still want, there's a situation where if you don't give them money and you have everything complete, they're still going to take you in.
They're still going to take you in.
Yeah, so it's so you ain't driving. If you're driving, you see they just wind down the door, just give it to them. Be like, salute, bye, peace.
Take this. Take this so I can go.
Exactly.
Take this so I can go.
Yeah, I like peace of mind. I like peace, so I just give them and just go. Exactly.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's real interesting in the sense where, when I say I grew up as a middle child, I think it's tough trying to find your niche. And one thing that happens a lot of times with the perception of African American culture once you get here, it's media, especially social media, will predominantly portray African American culture in America as rap, music, violence, things like that. So I know growing up, it was such a conflict of culture and influences, right? So it's I see this on TV and it's okay, is this what me and my people do? Or then you'll see as far as my uncles and them are it's go to school, discipline. That was given very hard, right? And then on top of that, I still don't understand this to this day, is how many times they show us slavery in school. So now when I'm in there, when I'm, I would say probably junior high. Junior high is when it starts, so 12, 13 years old. First images a lot of African Americans are getting of themselves in regards to their ancestry is slavery. Right? Luckily, I could say when I grew up, I would see pictures of my great grandfather who was of a certain descent, right? So I would know that's not my ancestry that started with slavery. What would be your impression as far as slavery and the impact it had on you versus African Americans? What were your thoughts on that before coming to America, and then once you got here? Tell me about slavery.
I mean, to be honest, back home, when I was back home in Nigeria, I didn't know anything about the racism, like I said, slavery. I didn't know much about it because I felt we are all one and we are in Africa and there's nothing to worry about, So coming out here, seeing a lot of racism and slavery stuff about black people was kind of new and shocking to me.
So I'm sure you heard about slavery in Nigeria.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
I did, yeah.
And what was your What were you taught about slavery?
I was taught about slavery that what's it called? The people from Europe, the white people from Europe came to Africa to take people back to like Europe and London for slavery, for slave trade.
For slave trade.
Like a slave trade, like the switch, give them money and they to buy people and stuff. That's all we really know about it. Then coming out here seeing slavery going on in a different way was so shocking too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I felt like it was a bad. It's still slavery is still going on to this day, but it's just going on in a different way.
Okay, why you say that?
Because I feel like back then the slavery was slave trade. You can trade, you can pay people, you can pay money to get like slaves. But now it's the racism. I would say racism is kind of slavery too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because between the color, the white and the black people, the white people are being so mean to the black people for no reason.
Right.
Because the color of the skin.
Yeah.
Go back to your hometown. Go back to your country.
Yeah.
Even sometimes it's black and black crimes, like black American and Africans. You know what I mean? It's like they don't like Africans.
Right.
So it's just it goes down like that. Even there's a situation whereby you be dating an African American. And them Americans, they don't like you because you're African. Or if an American person is dating an African lady, the African people don't even like the American. They want you to be with like your own people, your own dialects. So it's just different.
It's so funny. We get push-ups next. It's so funny when we talk about it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because all of these things are constructs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you see somebody else, if you weren't taught that this person was different, you wouldn't have that type of mentality. You know what I mean? So now you get to America and you start learning about slavery in this context.
Yeah.
It's almost like in some ways you think you almost see yourself differently. And I would think that could be something that happens, right?
Yeah,
so the way you perceived yourself when you were in Nigeria versus the way you perceive yourself in the U.S.
It's different.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
That's mind-blowing. That being in a different environment will cause you to even look at yourself differently.
Back home, you don't look at yourself differently. Like you're just why you don't need to look at yourself.
You don't even think of it.
I don't think
even come to mind
about it. But out here, you have to look at yourself differently. And especially some places where you go is like a bunch of people like looking at you like they haven't seen the color of your skin before. There's some places like that in America, so it's so different.
You get squats.
Yeah.
We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, then curl press.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Keep it.
Let's go.
10, 9, 8.
Are your dad and mom Ghanaian?
6. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So my mom is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
My mom's from Trinidad and Tobago. My father's from Ghana.
Okay.
Then I grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So one thing I can say is that I didn't realize how diverse my upbringing was, which almost goes to your point as you don't really understand your social disposition until you walk out the door.
Yeah.
Right? So here I am at home. And the thing about my family is very big.
Yeah.
My father had 23 brothers and sisters. My grandmother, my mom's side, I want to say it was 9 sisters. And it's like just so much family growing up.
Yeah.
And just like you said earlier, we didn't grow up eating American food.
Yeah.
So no macaroni and cheese, no fried chicken, none of those things, right? We all grew up eating, pylori and curry, and then with my father, it's peanut butter soup, and stew and fufu
and shito and all of them.
All those. Shito, so good, so good. So I grew up eating all of those things, and then it was just like the culture shock was different when I would bring friends home, right? So now I bring my homies home. Yo, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. They come home. And it's almost like they're almost learning at the same time because then they may see the foods. Yeah. They may see my father with an accent, my mom with an accent. And it's like, yo, where you from? And mind you, we was in school the whole time chilling. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, where you from? I'm like, oh, my father's from here. You know what I mean? And there's a whole thing. I got a funny story. Real quick. So as I started getting older, I really started getting into fitness. And you know how with African culture, you have to respect the elders, right? So when they say do something, you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? So as I started getting older, I started becoming very wise about my diet, right? That means like I was cutting down on processed carbs and try to eat more natural, whole foods, things like that. Well, if you, as I'm saying this, you know Ghanaians have a food by the name of fufu.
Oh, yeah, fufu. Fufu. In Nigeria, they call it eba.
Eba? And you take it and you dip it in and you mix it with it. And it's a big bowl of carbohydrates,
so
right?
Yeah. All
crazy.
natural food.
All natural. But very, very heavy. My uncles used to say, when they used to see me younger, I used to play basketball. And of course, I was in shape. And they would say, wait till you get to be older. You're going to have a belly like us, you know? You're going to have a fufu belly. And I said, Uncle, I don't have a belly, not because if I get older, I'm not going to eat that fufu. You know? And say, oh, and they get very mad, right? So one time in my aunt's house, and I stopped eating a lot of these foods at home that my family was making. We get 4 more. This one's a tough one. 4. We got 3 more. 3, 2 more. Last one. Then we get swings. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we all in my aunt's house. And there was so many of us cousins growing up, right? So now we all over my aunt's house. We're in New York. And my aunt is making fufu and stew. And I already know I'm not going to eat the fufu. But me trying to deliver this message around everybody, I knew it was going to be a task. So my aunt's there, you know, Benika, come and get your fufu. So you come get a fufu.
Come get your plate,
My dad, Kwesi, come and get your fufu. And I'm saying, all right, how am I going to say this? Mind you, at the time, I'm like 27, 28 years old. I should be able to pick what I want. But you know in African culture, that shit don't matter.
You have to
It don't matter. I have to eat it. So my auntie come up, she said, Jyima, come and get your fufu. So it's quiet. I say, Auntie, I don't want to have the fufu. She look at me, she says, Jyima, come and get your fufu. Now, with the stern voice, you know, you go and get it. So I said, Auntie, there's too many carbohydrates. She looked at me, said, Jyima, come and get this fufu. This is low carb fufu. I said, no. Auntie, since when they make low carb fufu?
They try to trick you.
So, needless to say, at 27, 20 years old, I have to go and eat the damn fufu just because I know, that you don't say no to the elders, regardless of what you think you know. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if he eats one piece or one bite, that's what they want.
That's what they want. That's it.
But
just to show.
Just
to show. We get the squats. Just to show. Just to show. You have to do it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, then we'll curl press for 10.
Let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One thing I know that I greatly appreciate from the culture that I got was just keep your mouth shut and work. And I definitely got that from my African culture. No, I don't believe that I'm owed anything. I don't believe that I'm entitled to anything. I just believe you guys gotta work your butt off. What I think I want to ask you is is there something that you wish? I'm gonna make this question two-part.
Yeah.
Is there something you wish all African Americans would learn and understand about West Africans, Nigerians in general?
Yeah.
And there's something being here now that you wish Nigerians would understand about African Americans.
Okay.
So what? The first part, is there something that if you could talk to African Americans in general, what's something you wish that they would understand and know about African culture?
African culture. I would say what they should know and really know about the culture is, like, they need to know the history about Africa. Like,
okay.
Like, they need to know where they are from, where like they are, like where they're from, where their dialect is from. Because I know nowadays, I get this a lot. A lot of my American friends, they always like. I remember when I first met my friend. She's from here. She was asking me where am I from. I said I'm from Nigeria, and then she told me she's 30% Nigerian. That was which was good because she knows she did her research. You know what I mean? She did research.
So doing the ancestry.
Ancestry,
learning what your origins are beyond slavery.
Exactly.
Right.
Then when you learn that, then going and see for yourself. See where how the culture is. See what you've been missing or what you don't know about.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to do that.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
To go and see, you can then almost learn certain things in your DNA,
exactly.
that ways that you may feel, ways that you may carry yourself, passions that trace back to a time or origin that you're completely unaware of.
Yes.
Oh man,
exactly.
That's one thing I could say that I was fortunate of is I'm able to see my roots in the house, but I can imagine being able to go to the cool down now, back to the rotations.
Okay.
Is forward and back, is now not even knowing your ancestry beyond slavery. So that's one thing I would love to reiterate and echo is that we definitely encourage African Americans to take that time, whatever form you use, to find out your culture, where your origins are before slavery. And something as far as if you could talk to your people back in Nigeria who have never been to the U.S., don't know the culture the way you know it now, what is something you wish they would know?
Okay.
now that you've been here.
This is a really good one. Okay, this should, because I get this a lot of times. You know, I get like, my friends hit me up like, oh my God, I wish I can come to America. I had America is cool, nice, and this. So what we learned about America back in Nigeria was America is a land of gold and fortune. If you come out here, you're gonna get rich quick. You're gonna blow up and stuff, So you have family hitting you up at me. Oh, when are you gonna buy me clothes? Buy me shoes? Buy me this? Buy me that? So what I would say they need to really know is, I wish they can know this, but what I would say they really need to know, what they really need to know is that America is not what they think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's not paved with gold.
It's not like when you come here the first time, next day you're rich. It's not. It's all. It's the system. America is a system. It's like it's a business place. You know what I mean? So when you're coming here, you're meant to have your heads up and be like, okay, you gotta burn your grind. You gotta burn your business because at the end of the day, you gotta pay a lot of bills. Yeah, you gotta pay bills. Right. Back home, the bills there you pay every year. In America, it's every month. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of them don't know that. They don't know that. So different. It's like you just have to know. What I would say about is like they need to know like America is not what they think. Right. You're gonna come in. You're gonna have to work. Exactly. It's not like when you come in, you're not gonna. You have to come in here and you have to put in the work. You can't just come here and be like, oh, you're next day you're rich. It doesn't work that way.
So my father, you just reminded me of a story. My father had 23 brothers and sisters. Oh, wow. And the oldest brother came here first. And when he got here, naturally he sends or tells, his other brothers to come. So my father said there was about 6 of them that were here. And at the time, he's on food stamps. He's working in a meat market, right? Grinding, as you're saying, right? And he's like, shit, the U.S. isn't what I thought it would be, right? Like I gotta work, and not in the sense of you have to work. You understand that, but you have to work 10 times more than you thought you did, and not get anything that you thought you were gonna get. So he said his younger brother, who is back in Ghana, is steady calling him every day. question, when you're going to send for me? I want to come to America.
Yeah.
And then he said, my father said he's trying to tell his younger brother, listen,
It's not
America is not what you think, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, it's hard, it's tough, I'm paying a lot of bills, you know? And he said his younger brother said, if it is so tough, then why are you there?
Oh, wow. Wow. What an audacity.
I said, sonny, you little wise ass. Now you come here and see.
Exactly.
He said he got here and then he struggled too, just to see.
Just the same, just to see.
So I guess what we have to understand is that,
That's
even
funny.
though you encourage them, they have to really sit there and listen and understand that yes, there's plenty of opportunity here. There are plenty of things that you can learn and understand, but for the most part, you're gonna have to work and grind and start from the bottom. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing. We're down. That's the biggest thing you're gonna have to understand. So I'm glad that you sent that message to anybody in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, wherever it is, that when you come to the States, it's not you land, an opportunity just lands on your lap. You know? Which is huge. So what are you doing now?
So right now I'm doing music. I work in the studio, music studio, and at the same time I'm doing like my own music and stuff. And we have a group of friends of ours. We do like events, planning, you know, like live bands in Hollywood, in Pasadena, and
that's nice.
It's really nice.
That's really nice, man.
We have one coming up next month, so it should be fun.
And that's what you went to school for, right?
Yeah, that's what I went to school for.
Wow.
Yeah, music.
That's really nice. And I really think with your work ethic and your talent that you're going to be okay. Especially with that influence of two different cultures. You know? I appreciate you stopping by, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
And we're going to have to do this again.
What a good workout, man.
Hey,
Appreciate
you know it,
bro.
man.
Appreciate you, man.
You know it.
Appreciate you, brother. I'll see you around.
Definitely.
Yeah.